Welcome back, guys. You know when you're in a fantastic restaurant, you look on the sides menu and you see Lobster Mac and Cheese. Want it, need it, gotta have it, heart's going crazy. Well, today we've got the star of the show, Maine Lobster with mac and cheese in the pressure cooker, coming up next. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. Welcome back. Randall here with Cooking Under Pressure, a YouTube channel dedicated to teaching you how to use your pressure cooker without any fear. A lot of people are afraid of their pressure cookers. They might have one sitting in their garage or sitting up in their attic that they haven't used, but we're here to show you how to use it, give you some fantastic tips and tricks and awesome recipes. I've been cooking in a pressure cooker for about 5 or 6 years. I've got a Power Pressure Cooker XL. Whether you have an Instapot, a Cuisinart, whatever power pressure cooker it is, we are here to show you how to make fantastic meals. If you get a chance, please subscribe below and also click on the notification button. It will give you all our updated videos, and we've got a great video and meal coming up next. Hey guys, welcome back. We have a wonderful meal for you today. It takes me back to my New England roots. We have lobster with mac and cheese. Now normally, I'm not a big mixing cheese with lobster, especially growing up. However, this dish in the pressure cooker is phenomenal. Who doesn't love mac and cheese? Starting out right away with shallots. Now, if you cook with shallots, you know that they are very sweet, and a shallot is a little bit different than an onion. It's more like a garlic bulb, but I used 2 large shallots that I'm putting in with 2 big tablespoons of butter or margarine. So here are the shallots. I'm going to mix those in, and I'm going to set up my saute button. We're going to get these shallots cooking down, mix them in with the butter, and then we're going to start to put in our noodles as well as some stock and a few other ingredients. Today, most people like to use the large elbows for their macaroni and cheese. I'm going to zhuzh it up a little bit, and we're going with farfalle. Farfalle in Italian is butterfly, and it is bow tie pasta. So I thought we'd mix it up a little bit, and we will go with some bow tie pasta for our lobster mac and cheese. I got a couple of nice Maine lobster tails that we're going to be including in with today's meal, and this is starting to heat up. All right, our shallots are cooking up nicely. The butter has rendered down. And next up, I'm going to add a little bit of white wine, probably just about 1/4 cup. This is also today's cocktail of the day. My buddies Tobias and Diane, they had introduced us to Butterfield Station. If you know the wine La Crema, it's very buttery, very tasty. This is going to be today's cocktail of the day. We've added it to today's meal. We're going to cook the lobster with it, and we're going to drink a little bit with it. Next up, let's put in my favorite garlic chili hot sauce, probably about 1 tablespoon. Mix that up a little bit. We have 1 good tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Stir that in. We are putting in 32 ounces, 4 cups of chicken stock. Now you can use water. A lot of people like to use water. I like the added flavor of the chicken stock. 1 full box, that's 32 ounces, or which equals 4 cups, as you know. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to go with the bow tie pasta, farfalle. Put that in. Mix this up nicely. So we've got all those flavors going together. And of course, I like my Himalayan pink sea salt. So probably about 5 good grinds there, close to a tablespoon. You can taste for seasoning at the end once it is cooked, but just mix all of that together. And that is it. We will close the Power Pressure Cooker XL. And folks, this is a 4-minute cook. Now, because of the liquid in here, it doesn't take long to get up to pressure. So I have a button, it's a fish button. It goes to 2 minutes, and then I just increase it to 4 minutes, and that's all it's gonna take is 4 minutes cooking time for the bow tie pasta, the farfalle. It shouldn't take very long to get up to pressure. In the meantime, we're gonna have a couple sips of our Butterfield Station white wine, Chardonnay, and we're going over to the stove to cook up our lobster tails that we're going to be adding to this awesome mac and cheese. Now we've got a pan. I've just put some butter in here, and the only seasoning I use is a little bit of Old Bay. I don't normally use Old Bay for lobster, but it's great for this dish. So I just sprinkle the Old Bay right onto the open meat of the lobster tails. I've got the heat up close to high, but not quite high. And we're only going to put these lobster tails in for approximately 4 to 5 minutes. All right, our pasta has cooked. We have grilled up our lobster tails. The pasta, to get up to pressure and to cook, was less than 10 minutes. As I mentioned, this meal really is a fast one. So let's get to releasing. This is a quick release. We don't have to natural release this. So I'm gonna put the towel on top like I always do. Go away from me. Shouldn't take more than a minute. We're using all white cheeses today, but you can make this for children, for kids. They're used to Kraft macaroni and cheese. You could use elbow macaroni, and you could use orange sharp cheddar, and it would be perfect for the kids. So that pressure is out. Close that up. Our indicator, pressure indicator, has dropped to tell us that it's safe to open this. As always, folks, as you know, safety, I mention this every video. I open this away from me and make sure there's always a little bit of extra water there. So we'll put this down here. And look at that bow tie pasta. Oh, beautiful. Perfectly cooked. And it's not super watery. You want just a little bit of liquid on the bottom, and this is perfect because it's going to be absorbing all of the cheeses that we are getting ready to put in. So the first thing that we're going to do is we add evaporated milk. Evaporated milk is about, what, 60% I think of the water is taken out of the milk. It's a milk that is very creamy, perfect for cooking. We're going to put in 12 ounces into our pasta. Mix that up a little bit. You'll see the liquid. Oh, it's nice and tender. I can tell it's perfectly cooked. I don't even have to taste that. Now, I've got 4 different types of cheeses that add up to 18 to 20 ounces. You're going to want to put in maybe a third, a quarter at a time, because you don't want it to be really clumpy. So I've got Monterey Jack that we're going to start with, and we'll put that in and just mix that up. That is about 6 ounces. We'll mix that up, nice and creamy. These cheeses I use, it's a nice blend, very creamy cheeses. We also have, I found a white mild cheddar that we're going to add. Maybe about half of the bowl at this time, and it's starting to really thicken up nicely. Oh, this is gorgeous. Let's put that in. Now my wife loves Gruyere. It's a nutty cheese, kind of earthy. We usually have it while we're having some wine, but we are going to throw in a little bit of Gruyere cheese. Maybe only about 4 ounces. 4 ounces. I shaved this off a block. Oh, that is getting so nice and thick right now. Beautiful. Oh, that looks so good. And then finally, I've got about close to 6 ounces of Parmesan cheese. So we have Monterey Jack, Gruyere, a mild cheddar, and this is Parmesan to finish it off. 4 really tasty cheeses. Take a look at that. It is starting to thicken up really nicely. What's nice is it doesn't stick on the bottom. I keep the pressure cooker in the warm mode at this point. Do not put it on saute. It will get a little bit too hot. So just mix in all of that beautiful cheese. All right. We're going to add at this point a little bit of crushed black pepper. And those cheeses are still coming together. At this point, what I like to do to let this pasta thicken up for the next few minutes, I let it sit on warm. And at this point, we're going to pull out the meat. We let the meat from the lobster tails cool. We'll pull the meat out, chop it up, and then we'll dish out the pasta either in a bowl. You could eat it right now if you want, or we're going to put it in a casserole pan, broil it with some panko, some Parmesan cheese, and some butter, and have it ready to serve. All right, our pasta has thickened up beautifully. We have pulled all of the lobster out of the lobster tails. You see this beautiful lobster meat. So what I'm going to do now is I already have a pre-greased casserole pan that I just put butter in. I greased it up with butter. And I'm going to put all of the pasta in this casserole pan. I believe this is a 13-inch casserole pan. And you see how beautiful that looks. Make sure that I turn off the warm. At this point, I just take lobster and I just slide it all over the top of the casserole. Nice big chunks, because everyone likes a beautiful chunk of Maine lobster when they're eating their mac and cheese. And then I just push it down into the pasta. Like I said, I used 2 lobster tails. You could get a whole lobster if you wanted to, pull out some claw meat. The more lobster, the better, of course, but we thought we'd do it this way to make it a little bit simpler. And I've got melted butter. I am going to put in just a little bit, few Panko Crumbs, just to absorb this butter. And then also maybe an ounce or so, 2 ounces of Parmesan cheese. And I mix that up. That we're going to put on top of this casserole dish. You just sprinkle them right on top. That will put a nice golden crust, because we're going to broil this for maybe 5 minutes or so. Pasta's already cooked, lobster's already cooked. And we're just gonna sprinkle all of that nice panko, form a nice golden crust. And then I just take a spoon or a fork and I just pat it down just like that. Beautiful casserole. We're gonna pop in the oven right now, broil for 5 minutes, and then you'll see the final beautiful casserole lobster mac and cheese. All right, our lobster mac and cheese has been in the broiler for 5 minutes, and look at this beautiful creation. It is gorgeous. This is a creamy, tasty, rich dish. I am looking for, look at those hunks of lobster. The pasta has thickened up. A beautiful bite, full of lobster, pasta, 4 different cheeses, flavors, seasonings. You know it's going to be a little bit hot. Absolutely restaurant quality. This is a fantastic meal. You can cook this over the holidays. Of course, you can take out the lobster if you want, if you just want to make it as mac and cheese. If you have any comments about this or any comments about any of my other videos, please leave them down below. And as always, if you ain't cooking under pressure, you ain't cooking. We'll see you next time.